What's up there, SEO pros? Welcome back. Today we are going to be doing an interview with Maxwell Finn, and he's going to be sharing with us some of his Facebook ad secrets. He's not on yet. He's actually getting prepared, so I'm just getting everybody in here and ready to go for when he does get in here. And I'll just read you off his bio. So let me just read this off. I will read this off again when I introduce him. So, co-founder of Unicorn Innovations, he has run Facebook traffic for some of the biggest brands and influencers in the world, including Kevin Harrington, Pat Flynn, 3M, Rival Media, parent company of Digital Marketer, and many more. He has earned two Comic Club awards from ClickFunnels, and I'm assuming that means $2 million landing page awards, and we'll ask him about that. Created a Facebook ad course with 3,000 students and 1 million plus in sales during the first year. He speaks about Facebook ads and advanced marketing strategies at many of the biggest events and masterminds in the world. So this guy's the real deal. I've been seeing his ads everywhere. And again, we're going to have him on here right now. He's going to tell us his different secrets around what he does around Facebook ads, so you guys can kind of get an idea on what he's all about. And ask questions about Facebook stuff. I know a lot of you on this channel are SEO related, but it's definitely important to hit on these other different large platforms if you can. And even I personally do Facebook ads. I have people run Facebook ads for me. So it'll be interesting to see sort of what he does. And yeah, so let's get everybody in here. I'm going to do a quick screen share as I set up my Facebook video as well. So I'm going to stream on Facebook this interview. So for that, I don't know if you guys know how to do this, but it's pretty cool. You can go into Facebook and you can do live video. And all you have to use is this software called OBS. You get it? Well, can you share screen now? It's interesting. You weren't able to do that before. Okay, so, interesting that okay, here it is, connect. So we all you do is you just take this stream key and you just plug it into OBS. You do that, settings, stream, Facebook. And so if any of you guys have questions beforehand, you want to leave them in here now, you can do that. Obviously, we will leave the comments open as well for anybody who wants to ask questions later. Let me just do an introduction for Facebook too. All right, what's up, White Hat SEO Network? We're currently live on YouTube and on Facebook, and we're going to be interviewing a man named Maxwell Finn, who is a pretty big marketing influencer on Facebook. And yeah, so he's going to jump in here pretty soon. He's just getting ready right now. So let me go ahead and share this screen over here. Properties, share, boom. Okay, so that should be good. Whoops, I think I'm sharing the wrong screen. Hold on one second. Properties, and I want to share. Actually, I'll just, you know what I'll do? I'm going to just do a window capture. I'm going to share this Hangout screen. Oh, wait, hold on. Google Hangouts. Will that work? So I'm not used to doing all these screen shares at once. Let me see. Stop. Window capture properties. Having a couple technical difficulties. 1 second. Is that the right one? Okay, I'm just going to have to do a display capture actually. 1 second. Sorry about this, guys. Okay. There we go. Okay. So we got 15 people viewing on Facebook. We got a few people. Oh, I didn't go live on Facebook yet. What's up, Facebook? White Hat SEO Network. We're about to go live. We got 15 people on YouTube, and we got somebody named Maxwell Finn coming in to share his Facebook ad secrets. This guy's pretty skilled at Facebook ads. He's actually getting ready right now. So I just thought I'd get everybody in here. So he's got a little bit of an audience when we get started. But I'll read off his bio for the Facebook group. So Maxwell Finn, co-founder of Unicorn Innovations, has run Facebook traffic for some of the biggest brands and influencers in the world, including Kevin Harrington, Pat Flynn, 3M, Rival Media, parent company of digital marketer, and many more. He has earned two Comma Club awards from ClickFunnels, created a Facebook ad course with over 3,000 students and $1 million plus in sales during the first year, speaks about Facebook ads and advanced marketing strategies at many of the biggest events masterminds in the world. So if you guys want to right now, you can start leaving your questions in the chat, either on Facebook or on this live stream, and I'll have them ready for him. Anything you guys want to ask around Facebook ads, that's what he's going to be sharing about today. So Blue Fusecom says, hey, what's up, dude? Utam Baskar says, hello, Chase. What's going on? Rob Rizk says, what software you use for streaming? So the stream on Google right now is from YouTube. You can just create an event in YouTube. It's just like a live stream, live broadcast. And then for my normal streams, I use something called OBS. So if you look up a video on my channel called OBS tutorial, you'll see how I actually set that up. And then I also have a video on my channel called the equipment I use for my streams, and you can check that out as well to see all the different equipment that I use. Blue Fusecom says, most of my clients say they have tried Facebook ads before and didn't get enough ROI. Okay, cool. So I'll ask that. Okay, so Maxwell is ready. I'm going to bring him in here, and we'll be good to go. So I just invited him. Hold on one second. Boom. So hopefully you guys are ready to ask him some questions. Get 7 people on Facebook, 11 on YouTube. If you guys don't get a chance to check this out as well, I will be recording this and republishing it later. So he should be jumping in here pretty soon. Just give him a couple seconds. What's up, Ankit Dubey? I'm so bad at pronouncing names. So any questions, again, you guys have, make sure you leave them in the chat for when he gets here, and I'll try to ask him, I guess, at the end or something.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, bro?
How's it going?
Doing well.
Awesome.
We're already live.
Love it. You're prepared.
I don't like the awkward, like, what's up, how's it going? And then we start talking about stuff, and then we miss all the good stuff in the beginning. So I'll probably
I could go live all day. So
yeah, dude, I'm seeing you all day. I'm always on my Facebook feed. I'm like,
yeah, just live stream my entire day because that's all I do is build ads. So
I think that's going to be the future. Anyway, people are just going to be followed around by drones. It's just going to be constant live.
It'll be so boring to watch me 24/7.
People are into it though. You know, they want to live through other people that are doing what they want to do, right?
Yeah. The weird thing though is like when you go live, you're so focused on talking to people and making sure they're engaged and all that stuff. And it's tough to like do what you do and also do that. Like when I'm building ads, like I don't pay attention to anything. So I'm not talking or anything. So when you do it, you feel uncomfortable. You're like, well, I got to talk through this and why I'm doing it. And it adds extra work and it's not natural.
It's funny because I'm the opposite. Like I have to talk when I'm working because I started out by doing that. So like when I did all of my videos, I made them into content because I wanted to be able to like create content and work on other people's sites. So now when I try to just do like, you know, talking to the camera when it's not like in real time, I'm not working on something, it's so much harder for me. Like it's hard for me to do like ad type material.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just however you start doing it, that builds a habit and what you get used to.
Cool, man. So I did an introduction already. I'm just going to read it off one more time because I will be probably repurposing this or editing it and then re-uploading it. So let me just read the bio you sent me. And if I miss anything,
I hate that. I hate having to like talk. It's the most uncomfortable thing ever.
Do you not want me to read it? I won't read it.
Go for it. I was just saying, I was prefacing it by saying like it's always weird to like writing about yourself, but
okay, I'll just say that I wrote it then.
It's fine.
All right, so Maxwell Finn, co-founder of Unicorn Innovations, has run Facebook traffic for some of the biggest brands and influencers in the world, including Kevin Harrington, Pat Flynn, 3M, Rival Media, which is the parent company of Digital Marketer, and many more. He has earned 2 Comma Club awards from ClickFunnels, which I'm assuming that means you created 2 $1 million sales pages, or that. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Created a Facebook ad course with over 3,000 students and 1 million in sales during the first year. Speaks about Facebook ads and advanced marketing strategies at many of the biggest events and masterminds in the world. So
there you go.
First of all, I just want to say thanks for coming on, man. If you're doing all that stuff, it's kind of hard to take some time to do this. So I totally appreciate it. And I'm sure the people watching are also going to appreciate it.
No, of course, man. I'm always happy to get the chat. I'm kind of an introvert, and so I spend most of my time alone. So this is my socialing, my social time.
Nice. Cool. Well, we got just a few viewers. I think it's under 20, but I let them know if they have any questions towards the end, we'll answer them. And yeah, I don't know how you want to take this away, man, but if you just kind of want to get into it, I mean, I can ask you questions. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't know how prepared you are for talking about your Facebook ad stuff.
I'm not prepared at all. So I have no idea. I'm kidding. So I do this all the time. So I'm always talking to somebody, either in our student group, we have live trainings all the time, or just, various events that we speak at. And I just spoke at Affiliate World, and I'm speaking at AdSum in Scottsdale. So I can kind of talk about some of the stuff we're going to be sharing there. And you guys don't have to pay a few $1,000 ticket, which is good. So one of the biggest areas I think people need to be focusing on with Facebook ads, and not just Facebook ads, but all paid traffic, because we want to expand beyond. I don't like being. I think you get typecasted and pigeonholed into a specific niche, and that can happen pretty early on. And like, we do so much more than just Facebook. Like, Facebook is obviously what we started doing, and I love it, and it's fun. I talk a lot about it, but if you don't have a great offer, if you don't have a great funnel, if you don't have great upsells, if you don't have a great messaging, branding, all of those things, your Facebook ads don't matter. Like, I can put together the most advanced campaign you could think of, and it won't be profitable. So we focus a lot on the overall paid marketing strategies. And so what's happening right now across all paid traffic channels, especially Facebook and Google for a few years now, is there's limited inventory, right? So most paid traffic platforms are auction-based platforms, which mean every time I want to show an ad to that person, my target audience, my lookalike or whatever, I'm competing against other people who also want to show the ad to that person, right? At the top of their feed. That's the way it works. Well, basically, it keeps going up. The only thing that can happen is price has to go up, because by raising the prices, it decreases demand and balances it out, so they're not overselling inventory. And so with Facebook, that's been probably for the last 6 to 8 months, they've been maxed out on ad inventory, meaning there's no additional inventory, there's no new channels coming online. And obviously, a lot more people want to run ads on Facebook. We're going to the holidays where it's going to get more and more competitive, and so prices are going up. And the days of really being able to like just take any type of drop ship product, $20, $30, $40 product with 50% margins, and just straight selling that to cold traffic and making a lot of money, those days are over, in my opinion. There will always be exceptions, right? There will always be people that can do it very well, who have they just have enough resources. And Steve Tan and Adrian Morrison and friends of mine who are just like, they're rock stars, and they can still make like the general store work, and they can still make drop shipping work with paid traffic. But a vast majority are not going to be able to be profitable. And so the focus needs to be on, okay, well, if I can't be profitable on acquiring the customer, should I just stop running ads altogether? And you shouldn't, right? Because that's a key part of building your business, is being able to run traffic and acquiring your customers. But the focus needs to be on what happens after that initial sale. So I need to start focusing, we all need to start focusing on lifetime value as a primary KPI metric that we're shooting for, either as agency owners, offer owners, business owner, whatever, whoever's watching. I'm sure there's a mix of roles that people have in various places in kind of the ecosystem. And that's really the metric that we focus on. And so a lot of our strategies now are about post-purchase retargeting. So what are we going to do after that sale? And so we have a variety of ads and sequences that I can walk through with everybody. I'd love to hear though, people that are watching, I can't see the live.
I can tell you.
Is that interesting to them? Is there a specific topic? Because I hate talking about things that I think and know are important. When people want to know about, like, hey, I just want to talk about this. I want to talk about retargeting strategies, or I want to talk about how to build out a campaign structure or whatever. I think this is the most important thing, but if other people want to talk about other things first, I'm more than happy to do that as well. So I can kind of leave that open before diving in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a few questions already. One of which is, are messenger bots going to be where the money is in the with ads going forward instead of web traffic / landing pages type campaigns? And then we had another question. Somebody wanted to know, most of my clients say they have tried Facebook ads before and they didn't get enough ROI. What do you think are the key elements to pay attention to the most to get success in ROI? And then they also want to know where to find your course that you have. So yeah, you don't have to answer those questions right now if you don't want to.
I can answer those quickly, and then I can get back into, because everything ties together. There's nothing that's like independent and an outlier. The second question is interesting, and this is one I see all the time. Like literally almost every day, somebody asks me this question, which is, "Hey, I spent X on ads, and I didn't make money, or I didn't make as much money as I wanted to. Facebook ads, do they not work for my business?" Now, let me just put this out there for everybody. You need to set your KPIs off of your business, meaning that it should be off of your AOV, your profit margin, your conversion rates in the funnel from view content to purchase. Because what ends up happening, and you'd think that this wouldn't happen at a high level, like for bigger businesses, but incredibly it does. They see what other people are talking about on Facebook and on kind of like these groups where they're sharing their results, and they're saying, "Hey, I just spent $10,000 and brought in $80,000, or I just spent $100,000 and made $500,000." Like you see those all the time. And what ends up happening now is people are like, "Well, okay, that's what my baseline should be. If they're doing that, then I need to set my break even CPA at 5x." Or ROAS at 5x or 6x. And you have no idea if one, that's true, that's the actual number, because it's really easy to fake those metrics. I could do it right now in like the actual real data, not just like Photoshop, but actually like manipulating the actual pixel data. And two, you also don't know how profitable they are. So like if I'm a business that's drop shipping and I have a really crappy margins, and let's say my margins are 25%, and I'm at a 4x, and I'm bragging about that, and you're at a 2x, but you have 75% margins, I'm just breaking even. Every 4x sale I'm making nothing. I'm at zero in terms of profit. Whereas if you're at 75% margins doing a 2x, you're profitable every sale. You're putting money in your pocket every sale. And so you shouldn't be saying, I need to be at 4x to run traffic. That'd be great if you're at 4x, but if you're at 2x at 75% margins, like, that's a very profitable and sustainable ROAS to go after. So that's the first thing. And I actually have a tool that I can share with everybody. It's like a free Google sheet. It's like opt into anything that I created that'll actually help you figure out these numbers. I could actually, am I allowed to screen share here?
Yeah, it's top left. There's a little green screen share button, and then you would just share your whatever monitor.
Yeah, let me show this real quick.
Can I ask a question really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, there's a little bit of an echo. For like the Tai Lopez type things that you see out there, like all the people doing, they're promoting some sort of email list or some sort of landing page or free webinar, and then they're taking those email lists and then obviously promoting like some sort of affiliate offer to somebody else. Do you still see that as something that works really well, or
meaning like just having affiliates push your offer?
No, like the whole the reason why I think Tai Lopez was able to get famous so fast was because he was able to just drive so much traffic with all of his ads into like free lists. And so I'm wondering if you think that's a strategy that's still working really well, where you're just like promoting, like, for instance, you know, you in front of a car and then join the webinar, how I got this Maserati or whatever, right?
Yeah. And I'm putting the headphones in so I don't have the echo for you. So hopefully that there we go. Okay. It just switched over to my my AirPods.
No worries.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to get rid of the echo if you guys are having that. So for one, Ty and Cardone, those guys, they know their demo, and so like that strategy works really well because that's what their demographic wants, is the cars and the girls and the lifestyle. And Ty very rarely actually talks about the substance of the content or the program. He doesn't tell you the details. He just shows you the outcome and gets people excited. So I think for certain scenarios and situations and offers of certain types of demographics like that, yeah, that strategy definitely still works. Like we're not exclusive like Facebook advertisers, meaning that we don't launch businesses or work with businesses where all of their traffic and all of their sales are coming from Facebook, or even all of them coming from paid traffic.
Mm-hmm.
We believe heavily in diversifying your customer acquisition channels. We believe heavily in diversifying your income streams, so you're not dependent on just one income stream. And so like a strategy like that is a piece of an overall marketing strategy. And it's an effective way to get people into your ecosystem that you can then, heavily retarget and kind of put on the gas on the paid traffic to move them up the value ladder and get them to buy, and then also get them to move up and buy higher priced products. So yeah, I think, again, it's not for everybody, but it's still working for Ty. It's still working for a lot of people that I either know pretty well or know their businesses really well.
Yeah, the only reason I was asking was because it seems like you focus a lot more on like actually getting value back from whatever you're selling. So like actually getting a 2x or 3x, whatever. And it seems like they're more interested in, like, again, what you were saying earlier, like the lifetime value, and not really focused on the first initial sale.
Yeah, and so a lot of the stuff we do, and people only really see like the Facebook course and the unicorn course. That's really the only times they see like ads from us. But we're running traffic for a lot of different people, and a lot of those campaigns are focused on breaking even on the front end, or even maybe going the whole on the front end, and we're making a lot of money in a 3 to 12 month window off of that. I mean, that's kind of what we do with with Pat Flynn, for example. Like we spend a good amount of money on the front end providing tons of like free tools and resources and cheat sheets, and then we spend a ton of money driving to webinars. And then on the back of those webinars, we usually have a 5-day card open. That's an exclusive offer for webinar attendees. And we heavily hit those attendees. Like we just did, I think we got about 2,000 registrants, and we filled out an entire 1,000 person webinar a week ago. We're doing 50, 60 grand on the last day of the card open. We're doing around 100,000 per webinar. And obviously I can't take a lot of credit. That's Pat is really good at webinars, and Pat has an incredible brand. But that strategy, of giving, and then making a pretty sizable ask, is very, very effective. And but you need to be mentally prepared and financially prepared there to take a little bit of a hit. So it's not a long-term hit for us. It's maybe a few weeks, but you do go in the hole a little bit. And I remember the first time we did for Pat, he was like, "Hey guys, we're spending like $1,000, $2,000 a day." Like we kind of talked through it, and he was like, "Oh, that makes sense now." We're recouping that pretty much on the first day after the webinar, and then the rest of the course, the rest of the kind of 4-day period is all profit. And the last day, usually 75% of all sales on any of those type of offers come in on the last day. But yeah, so yeah, I think, just to be clear, like we still believe in it, and it's something we do with pretty much every offer. And we honestly we've been in a massive rebrand with Unicorn. We're almost done. We worked with some really, really great branding consultants and coaches there. And we actually, sold a little piece of the company. We brought on a partner agency that we've done business with for 2 years to bring in like a 40-person team basically as support. And
Wow.
we're doing a really big relaunch, well, not relaunch because we're still running it, but like a new brand launch in the next month or so that we're really excited about, and a lot of cool changes. And once we do that, then we're going to really start aggressively running traffic again. But we haven't really spent any money on paid other than some retargeting
Nice.
in the last 3 months with our stuff. It's just been affiliates and organic.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So, but this tool, just real quick, because we were going back to like the my clients not making money. Like you should fill this out for every client you have and walk through it with them. Basically, it just takes their AOV, their margin, a repeat purchase rate, repeat purchase AOV, and then their kind of conversion funnel. So what's their conversion rate for page views, add to cart, initiate checkout, webinar registrants, leads if they have them, and it's in telling you automatically, well, what's your break even CPA? Meaning, if I'm spending $1 and selling 1.33, I'm break even based on these numbers here. It then tells you exactly where you need to be for initiate webinar registrant, lead, and purchase for if you want to be profitable on day one. And then this is for kind of long-term profitability. If you're playing a longer game, looking at lifetime value, it'll tell you, what your daily profit is per sale based on a certain ROAS that you're getting on a daily basis, and also tell you where you need to be on a daily basis in terms of number of clicks, add to cart, sales, and leads if you want to break even. So this is just like a cool tool that everyone can use. It's pretty simple, like nothing crazy here, but it'll give you a baseline of where your business or your client's business is going to be at break even, and anything above that is profit. And so you should focus on that. Like I would rather have a 2x ROAS spending $50,000 a day at this, like with these numbers, than a 5x ROAS spending $500 a day. And I think we get too caught up in ROAS and those kind of metrics and not focus enough on, well, how much money is actually in my pocket at the end of the day. Yeah. So I'll actually share. I can give you send this over so anybody can just actually like copy this into their Google Sheet. Let me stop the screen share. And
so you're giving this away, or is this for sale?
No, you can have it. I'll give it to everybody.
Wow. Cool.
I'm just going to share the link with you, and then you can share that. I just got to add a copy to the end of it, so that when people put it in the URL bar, it'll automatically like show them, do you want to add this to your Google account?
Sweet.
There you go. So that should work. So yeah, it's I'm starting to work on these things. I'm trying to do at least like 2 a month. Right now I'm working on a calculator basically you could put in certain metrics like where your cost per add to cart is, or cost per all those metrics similar to this, but then also weight, kind of give everything like a score in terms of importance based on where your spend wise is, and determine whether like each ad or ad set should be kind of turned off or scaled, kind of based on those. So that's been like the most requested thing that people have asked is like, can you kind of add to this so I can put in some numbers for each ad or ad set or campaign? You can tell me whether I should like turn it off or scale. So the hard thing with that is like factoring in things like risk tolerance. There's like more kind of a range of outcomes. This is like a pretty concrete, like, hey, you want to get a 0, like this is where you need to be. But with something like that, it's like, well, are you okay going the whole for a few days, or and you got to kind of factor that in and give everything. You got to like weight things and give things scores. So that's just taking a little more time, but that's kind of the next tool that I want to put out.
That's pretty calculated though, in terms of the risk you're taking, which is cool.
Yeah. I guess I don't think I actually answered that. I kind of went on a tangent there. So I apologize for that question, but basically was just asking if like, is Facebook the like right channel, I guess. Was that kind of the question?
Yeah, I think they just want to know if like it's for everybody or if it's only for like certain types of marketers.
Yeah, so I think you have 2 billion people on there, and then you have Instagram. Every customer is on Facebook. Like, I don't care what business you're running. I don't care whether you're Goldman Sachs or you're Warby Parker. Like, the person that buys things from you is on Facebook at some point, or they're on Instagram, or they're on Messenger, or they're on Audience Network, which is the millions and millions of websites that use Facebook to power the ad engine. The key is like determining how I should be using Facebook, how to effectively use that medium to either engage, warm up, convert, maximize profitability. There's various goals that you have with Facebook, and every business might not use Facebook to like directly sell, but there are other ways to use it that can enhance other things you're doing marketing wise. So maybe your conversion focus is on, you know, search and on Google, but on Facebook you're running kind of video view brand awareness campaigns that are focused on overcoming certain objections, psychological hurdles, providing trust, credibility, authority with testimonials, press, those types of that type of content. And people are seeing that when they come to Facebook. You're not asking for anything. Then they go to search, and they've been seeing your brand every week for months on Facebook. They're much more likely to, you know, engage with you in other mediums than they would if that was a kind of cold first time they saw you.
So like, oh, I think it froze for a second. I think it froze for a second.
Okay, gotcha.
So like, here's a question. If you were to recommend like somebody who's bringing in, let's just say $10,000 a month, how much of that money would you say would be like a good place to start spending on ads?
Yeah, $10,000 to $20,000 a month profit or sales?
So like if their gross was like 10, okay, we'll say their net's $10,000 per month. It depends on like their ROI.
Yeah, I mean, it would certain factors come into play, like what are they selling? What's the price point of the product? What are their goals? What's their cash situation look like? If you're running a business where you're netting $10,000 a month and you're a bootstrap business, has to grow. A situation like that, I would start a much smaller test. The rule of thumb usually, this is based on people way smarter than me that I look up to, like Ezra Firestone, is to be investing about 25 to 35% into your traffic. So back into your paid traffic. And that's kind of the number that a lot, what Ezra said, which is interesting, is like a lot of e-com businesses are very, very conservative when you actually cut it, kind of cut through everything and look at what they're actually spending on paid traffic. And they're usually in the teens or low 20s. All of Ezra's businesses and all the, people in his mastermind and stuff, they're closer to the high 20s, low 30s. And again, it just comes down to what your goals are, what your risk tolerance is. But that's where I think you should be, especially early on, especially with the, I think we're in a cycle right now where we're pretty close, probably I would say a year to 3 years out from another major like transformation in advertising mediums, meaning there's going to be something in the next 3 years, whether it's AR, VR, something that causes a massive shift. And that's going to lead to a lot of challenges. Now everyone's going to have to relearn that. So we're kind of in a good spot right now where, Facebook's very mature, Google's very mature. We have all these great platforms that are very mature, and people are buying more online than they ever have. This is a good time to be investing in customer acquisition before you have to relearn a bunch of stuff, or deal with immature platforms that just aren't back like when Facebook first started and didn't have nearly as many bells and whistles as it has now.
So I know personally, like I'm interested in terms of like what you would recommend to like an SEO, but a large part of the audience that's going to be watching this now and also later is also SEO people. What would you say for like an average SEO campaign? Like if they wanted to get clients or like maybe sell courses or whatever they would want to do, like, have you worked with anybody like that before?
Meaning running Facebook traffic to sell an SEO course?
Like for a different, probably SEO, a large amount of people who are in my groups and watching my videos are people who either are starting out an SEO business or they're already like sort of an agency. So like, what would you say would be like probably a good sort of value ladder for them or sort of campaign?
Yeah, with agencies or any type of service-based business where you're selling kind of expertise, I think you have two paths you can take. One path is to do what most people are doing, which is try to compete on price and be a volume play. Which if you leave here with like one thing for me, it's don't do that. I've done that, and I know a lot of people have done that, and I don't know a single person who's either made that work in the long run, or if they did, are happy with it. Because you're gonna get, if you go the low price way, you're gonna get a lot of clients. Like you're gonna get a lot of business, right? If you beat everyone else on price, the problem is you're gonna get the wrong people, right? If it's a business that their thing is like, I'm looking for the cheapest option, that's the way they're gonna approach their entire business. They're just gonna be a pain in the ass client. They're gonna be cheap. They probably don't have a lot of other stuff figured out. They're gonna be heavily dependent on you. So if you have a bad day or a bad week, they're all over your ass. So we're kind of the opposite, and we're now an ultra premium. So we're probably the most expensive consulting for Facebook and paid traffic. And we only have a handful of clients, but those handful of clients pay us more than probably 3 times more than we were making with our last agency on the volume play. It's a lot less time, lots of headaches, and their campaigns, ironically, are also more successful because if they're able to invest that much money, they got a lot of other stuff figured out. Like they have multiple income streams. They're not dependent on this to work to grow their business. It's not their last dollar in. You don't want to be the person's last dollar. So to win in that game, you need to demonstrate expertise. Like you need to make it clear that you are an expert in the space, you are an authority in the space, you are trusted in the space, and that you provide like tangible value that helps those individual business owners that are going to hire an agency. And so we focus heavily on like a video ad funnel approach on the front end. And this is what I would do. Like we actually don't run traffic for our consulting. Like we don't actively market our consulting because we don't want it to be like what do we kind of this for our course business. It was every week basically we were hitting people with some type of quick like 1 to 2 minute video tip on Facebook ads, on SEO, whatever it might be. That is not just like a generic tip. It's like a really valuable tip. You're not holding back. You're not trying to give them a little taste so you can sell them something later, but we're genuinely over delivering, genuinely sharing value. Because what you want people to do is you want them to start thinking like, well, I never heard that before. And maybe they have an agency right now and they're going to go to them like, why aren't we doing this? Right? You're going to start to get them to doubt their agency, or if they don't have an agency, they're going to be, starting to realize like, well, I need to start doing something SEO because here's what all these other businesses are doing. Here's the results they're getting. Here's some cool strategies. So we typically would run a kind of multi-week video ad funnel where we would retarget and re-engage people that watch. They see video 1 and they see video 3, they watch 50% of video 2. And so by the time you get to, 4, 5, 6 videos out, you have people that are very, very warm because they've seen multiple tips from you. You've kind of been in their feed consistently providing value. You're one of the few people in their feed that hasn't sold them something, which is also very effective, right? Everyone else is asking to buy things. You're not asking for anything. And that approach works really, really well. I would say the other big thing to do is not just provide like tips and knowledge, but also be working in like credibility builders and authority builders. So if there is a video, if you spoke at a big event, like a big notable industry event, running like a video clip as one of the ads there. If somebody wrote about you, like Social Media Examiner or Mashable or some big publication, running that as a brand awareness reach or video viewer traffic campaign, that's very effective. And then at the end of it, I would do something that involves them filling out an application to be considered for an audit. So that's the way our process works is, if anybody reaches out to us, we have a kind of multiple barriers. If you get through those, we have an application that we ask you to fill out. And that application is long, purposefully, because if you're not serious enough to fill it out and put all the information in, or you don't know the information, you're not a good fit for us. So we're constantly like doing push-aways in that application. And then if you get through the application, and you're at the right, annual growth, income, current spend. We're very clear and transparent that we're a premium, we're going to be expensive. And if you acknowledge that, then we schedule an audit. This has been our most effective thing. Like if we get on an audit with somebody, we close like 95% of those people. We spend an hour with them. So we do an hour Zoom call. We get access to their ad account.
And it's free. It's free audit?
Yeah, it's a free audit. But the key there is a lot of people are doing the free consultations and audits, but they're doing it for cold traffic, anybody. So if you go to the, fill out the Calendly and you can hop on it, it's not qualified. You're going to waste a lot of time. So by the time you get to an audit with us, we've already, if it's 100 people have gone through, probably 1 or 2 has made it through to that point. And so by that time, we know they had the money, we know they have the desire, and they're looking to us as the, experts and really good businesses, successful people, successful entrepreneurs don't like to be told no. Like they psychologically just don't like it. So if you keep telling them like, hey, we don't have a lot of spots. Hey, we're really expensive. So if you're not looking for that, like it's kind of pushing, it's subtly pushing those buttons, and they want to work with you. The right person wants to work with you more. And on that audit, like we don't sell anything. So again, a lot of people use those consults because they're not qualifying to sell. It's like 5 minutes of teaching and then like 20 minutes of selling. We don't reference our package. We don't reference our prices. We don't reference anything. We just talk for an hour. I go through the ad account. I tell them basically every single thing that they could do to improve it. And we tell them too, we say, if you have an agency, like go back and tell them to do all these things. It'll help you. And then we say, hey, if you want to work with us going forward, it's great. Just let us know. If not, no hard feelings. And so we're very, very soft on that side. If they get back to us, we move forward. If they don't, we don't chase them down. We usually send them one email, usually like a week after they don't respond to us, just saying, hey, hope you had a great week. It looks like probably not a good fit. Wish you the best of luck. Anything we do in the future, let us know. So we don't like beg them for their business. We don't try to lower our price. Again, those are all kind of things that most agency owners are doing. And it gives the client way too much power and leverage when it comes to negotiating. So yeah, that's kind of our flow. And I imagine that could work for most, SEO agencies. The audit would just be focused more on the SEO side. And it's also the process that a few of our kind of peers in different spaces are doing with a lot of success. So like Platter, which is Rival Media, one of their companies that does all of their content, social, SEO. They kind of created the company because Perry, Ryan, and Roland from Digital Marketer were like, we've built so many big content sites and people always ask us like, can you do it for us? And so they created the company just to do that. And they're rock stars, but they're super expensive. They're kind of like us. They only work with a handful of clients and they have the exact same process. And they have like a 30 company waiting list right now to work with them, which is crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's crazy because like I personally start with the audit. That's how my value ladder goes from my free content people watch to the branding side of things. And then they ask for the audit, which is paid for like $200. And then I make it really low because everybody's charging super high audits. They're charging like $3,000 audits or whatever it is. And then obviously then it goes up to my services, but that's definitely a different angle that I would be interested in trying out. I'm wondering, so let me just get this straight. So step one, you put out some sort of tip-based type thing or some sort of like, hey, this is me speaking or whatever it is. And then it cut out a little bit on the next part. I think you were saying that what you do is you take sort of a custom audience and then you start remarketing to the people who engage with your video, or
it's a video ad funnel. So we build 50%, 75%, 95% video view audiences on each video in the funnel. And we start with 50%. We eventually, as we get more views, we can work it up to 95. So we're getting more and more qualified people. And then we're using that 95% video view audience as a lookalike to then become the source traffic. So it just kind of builds itself over time. The more traffic, the higher quality it's getting. And so we're including, we have that 75% 7-day, we create 2 audiences. So we get a 75% video view audience on that video. And we also create a 1-day video view audience on that one, same 70%. And so then ad number 2, that audience includes the 7 days, excludes the 1 day. That way they don't instantly start seeing that. It waits a day and then they're seeing it from day 2 to 7. There's a gap, and then we're doing the same thing. And as soon as they watch 75%, they move on to the next one because that's then an exclusion audience on the original one. So they kind of are moving automatically and dynamically from week to week or video to video.
And how, because 75% is pretty, or 95% at least, is pretty high retention. How long is that video?
1 to 2 minutes tops.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, shorter the better. It should be like a short and sweet tip that provides tangible value. Like this is why like Motley Fool and Agora, 2 of the biggest like financial companies out there, in terms of selling like financial service, like knowledge and info and stuff, right? Like stock tips and making money tips. Like they both understand that if they give you a single tip that makes you money, they own you for a long period of time. Like if they give you one stock tip and that stock tip makes you money and it allows you to buy that new house, get that addition on the house, go on a vacation, that's what they're selling. And like, they're fine giving away their best tip for free because they know nobody's going to like make money on a tip and be like, that was cool. I was happy making money once. I'm good. I don't need more tips.
Right.
No, they're like, I want the next one and the next one. Like, okay, that's great. It's going to be, $1,000 a year to be on our newsletter or whatever it is. And they're fine giving away all that great stuff for free. They don't hold back. And most businesses, especially in our industry where it's kind of the info product course knowledge side of the business, they hold back. And like a lot of lead magnets and tripwires are really crappy, low quality because they don't want to give you the good stuff because they want to buy for it. But the irony is that if you actually give the best stuff, you have higher conversion rates. You're actually going to make a lot more money because people are like, well, if they're giving this way for free and it's this good, imagine how good the paid stuff is. Mm-hmm. Whereas they feel burnt if you give them crap. If you give them like, a half a page list of like 10 places to look for keywords, I put keywords on a website or some crappy thing like that. Yeah. They're like, this sucks. I could have found this Googling it. Like this is worthless. And now I'm getting emailed and sold and all this shit. And it's just it's a very bad feeling that the person has.
Okay. So step 2, 95% retarget, we'll just say, and then you hit those people with, by the way, another video or something, by the way, get a free audit of your website. Go click to this link, or is that?
I would play around with the length. So the length of a video ad funnel is going to depend on a lot of factors, including your price point, the type of customer you're going after, the type of industry you're in. There's a variety of factors there. So it could be, 4 tips and then asking to go to the application. It could be 2, it could be 3. That's something I would just play around with. I would, test it out.
Is this a native video on Facebook, or would this be like bringing them into a landing page?
I would start just native because you're going to get a lot more views. You're going to get a lot more engagement. Even if you're doing a free video, still asking for a click is asking for something. Mm-hmm. And so our goal here is to literally like be as giving as possible and do as little asking, even if it means not asking them to click on something. Because we want that kind of first ask to be, hey, this application, we have a few spots that just opened up to work with us. We have, we don't really promote our agency much because we're so focused on growing our own ventures. But if you clearly have shown us that you're interested in investing in yourself, you watch a bunch of videos and you're the exact type of business we want to work with. So we'd love for you to fill out this application, see if it's a good fit, and we can schedule an audit. And then we move them through.
That's awesome. I do have one more question. I forgot to ask you. I know you probably don't have too much more time, so I don't want to keep you on for too long. But on the first step, I forgot to ask, what would be the initial push out? Like, were you just targeting like general audiences, like entrepreneurs over 40, that kind of thing?
Depending on the business, I would look at, Facebook, they broke down their Facebook page admins into 8 categories. So one of them is business owners. So like people that are admins of business pages, essentially on Facebook. That's a pretty good one we go after. Small business owners is interest. So based on who you're going after, the type of client you're going after, it could be a big business. Maybe you're going after, VPs of marketing. So it depends on who's not who, is like says they're in charge, but who actually makes the decisions. Like that's who you really want to focus on. Because you can get the person that's like, a marketing, team member on the company, but like they don't make decisions. So I don't want to spend money nurturing, engaging them when they have no pull. I want to focus on who's the key decision maker.
That'd be the person you'd want to market the course to or something, right? To be a better marketer.
And that's brings a good point, which is I think one of the biggest mistakes. This is something Perry Belcher told Jerry and myself, my partner, when we were at his house when we first started working with them, was the biggest company, vendors, and agencies is like they try to come in and replace the existing team. And all that does is build resentment. So if it's a company, they have a marketing intern, they have a marketing team, they have an SEO person, but maybe they're not the best. That's what they're bringing you in. Your goal should be to make them look really good. So you should be like and when you have meetings and calls and stuff, you should be talking about how good of a job they did. Like, hey, they did this, this, and this, and made our job a lot easier. We're adding to this. Because if they're happy and they feel like you're making them look better, they're going to fight for you in meetings when it's budget time. And they're like, ooh, should we work with this vendor? Like, you're going to have champions inside the company. And that's a huge, it's a little tip, but it makes a big difference, especially if you're working with bigger companies, is to be friends with the people that can feel threatened about their job, that they're going to get fired because they're just outsourcing to you.
Okay. Cool, man. Well, I don't want to take too much more of your time.
No, it's fine. Were there any, I'm more than happy to answer any questions that are in there.
Yeah, let me, if anybody wants to ask any questions right now, just, that they're interested in what you're saying when they're not talking at all. So
yeah,
that's
I'm used to that.
Yeah. Okay. I think we have somebody saying cool ROI tracking tool. Definitely need that Google Sheet. So I put that in there. And somebody said, on my experience, Facebook reporting data is misleading or erroneous, particularly when it comes to frequency ads are being seen per Facebook user, leading to oversaturation and also link clicks. Using analytics with UTM parameters shows different data completely. Do you trust the Facebook ads reporting data, or do you think it's misleading?
I don't think it's misleading. I think you're going to see different data in Google Analytics. You're going to see different data on Facebook Analytics. You're going to see different data in Shopify Store and ClickFunnels. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of ways that a script can load at one page and not load the other script. And so you're going to deal with that. I don't know when someone's going to fix that or perfect that. That's why I think it's important that you're not exclusively making decisions based on just one source of data, that you're incorporating your Google Analytics data, you're incorporating your Shopify data or ClickFunnels data or whatever your CRM's data is, and your Facebook data when you decide to make decisions. I would say for things like frequency, I don't see how Google would have better, more accurate data than Facebook on that, because Google's not tracking internal Facebook data, meaning they can't see how many times somebody in your target audience has seen an ad. Facebook's really the only player. They only have the data that can determine that. I would say if you're very concerned about frequency, there's a few things you can do. One is you can run reach campaigns where you can set the number of impressions per period of time. So you can say, I want everyone in this bucket to see this ad once every 7 days or 3 times every 1 day. It gives you more control. And you can also set automation rules on this. So you can set automation rules to turn off an ad or an ad set if it hits a certain frequency, and or if it hits a certain percent of audience reached. So if you want to say once 75% of my total audience reached, turn this ad off and then turn this ad on. So there are ways to mitigate that. And at the end of the day, I think frequency is a slightly misleading metric, because depending on where the person is in your funnel and the product and all that stuff, like it might take 4 or 5 times when you see an ad to buy, and it might not impact the experience for somebody seeing it 4 times. It might not lead to a decrease in relevance score or increase in negative feedback response. So you should be focused more on delivery insights, so showing audience overlap and audience reach, and then also trends day over day and week over week in terms of like KPIs. So if you see CPA consistently increasing, you see relevance score consistently decreasing, and frequency is now like 3, 4, 5, 6, like that's when you should start saying, okay, now you need to make a change. So you're taking multiple pieces of data, not just one, because the frequency on its own isn't super telling, especially depending on where you're at in the funnel.
A lot of this, I have to be honest, I don't know what you're saying, but
it's I need to try to make it more basic. That's the problem when you do something every day, is like you talk about it as if everyone understands it, and it's a challenge.
That's my biggest problem. Is I do my SEO tutorials and I end up talking about a bunch of stuff that I just assume people already know. And then when I try to make like the more simple tutorials, then I just get bored because I'm like, everybody already knows this stuff. But then like those are the videos that do the best, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We got a few more questions. Richie Rich says, what should be the minimum budget to get started with Facebook ads? And then another guy who just donated, thanks Rob, he said, do you have a niche strategy diagram? If no, what would you charge to create one?
Okay, on to the first one. And I need to figure out, you got a donation tab on there? People are donating money to you?
Oh yeah, you gotta start going live in YouTube, man.
Yeah, I need to. I actually just started doing more stuff in so for daily budgets, I'm not going to tell you a dollar amount because that's going to be determined by the price of your product. What I would say is you should have, ideally per ad, at a minimum per ad set, you should be spending about 6 to 10x your target CPA over a 3-day window at a minimum. So if you have a $20 target CPA, you should spend at least $200, and the ad should run for at least 3 days before saying, hey, I need to turn this off, or it's got good data, I'm gonna keep it going at a minimum. Ideally that's on an ad level, but if you're on a tight budget, you can do that at an ad set level. A lot of people will spend like 2 to 3x their target CPA and turn things off. And I see it all the time. People do that, and like a week later, a few sales come in that, you know, Facebook tracks for 28 days. Somebody can go back tomorrow or next week and buy from that ad, and all of a sudden that ad's super profitable. You turn it off and you screwed it up because now you can't turn it back on because all the learning was messed up. So yeah, give it that 3 days, give it that 6 to 10x target CPA on the spend.
So just to be clear, you don't run 1-day Facebook ads, and you probably never click the boost button, right?
I never click the boost button. Not to say that boosting on, so page post engagement ads, which is technically what boosting really is, are very effective. And that's what I'm running. So every new offer, every new campaign I run has 4 campaigns that are running. So I always have my website conversion campaign, which is my straight sales where I'm selling stuff. I have my page post engagement campaign, which is using the ads in my website conversion campaign. So I'm getting likes, comments, and shares, which decrease my cost per action on that. I'm running a video view campaign, again, using those website conversion ads to get more views, more data, more engagement. And then I'm also setting my retargeting. So at a minimum, I have those four campaigns running for any offer. So PPE, page post engagement, is an important piece of that. And we have a lot of offers sometimes where page post engagement actually outperforms website conversions on a ROAS basis because the CPM is so much lower on PPE versus website conversions. And sometimes the engagement rate, like the conversion rate, doesn't decrease as much as the CPM does. And that leads to a higher ROAS. But yeah, so I don't turn anything off after 1 day. The only time I would do that is if we are doing big tests, meaning like we found a lot of things that are working, we found all of our winners, and now we're looking to really scale. And we run something like, you know, Tim Bird's like shotgun strategy and surfing strategy, which that's a whole thing. Go check out, you know, join ad leagues with Tim Bird. You'll learn a lot about this stuff. Is like big budgets on all your ad sets, like $500 a day per ad set, and you're turning things off throughout the day. So like at 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m., you're turning off things that are unprofitable. And you're also doubling the budget of things that are super profitable. That's called surfing. That Tim came up with the name for that. So that's a very involved way of scaling. And then you reset everything the next day. So at midnight, anything that was turned off, you turn back on to run for the next day, because some ad sets will do really good one day, really bad the other day. So the goal is to catch all the really bad ones early enough in the day, and then surf the really good ones to maximize profitability and volume. So yeah, that's a whole nother. We could spend hours. Tim and I actually done a mastermind in November, where I'm sure he's going to be talking a lot about that.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, by the way, you should definitely, I know you have courses in Mastermind and all that stuff. You should definitely talk about that at some point.
Yeah, as a professional marketer, I'm also a really bad salesperson. So luckily that's why my best friend and partner, Jeremy, like we've been business partners for 3 years. He's does all the sales and business development. So whenever we go places, like he's there to make sure we're actually making money after people come up to me after speaking and stuff. But there, I just shared the link with you to Unicorn IQ Academy if anybody's interested, because I do daily trainings in our group, 90-minute trainings every Monday on Facebook, and we also then have from Tuesday to Friday we have 90-minute trainings from all other mentors. So on AdWords, Google, SEO, LinkedIn, Instagram, and we're adding more experts. Plus, you get all our courses. So our Facebook course, our AdWords course, our LinkedIn course, Instagram course, and we're coming out with a bunch of others. So if anybody's interested in joining that, I share the link with you to sign up for that.
Sweet. Did we want to answer that other question from Rob?
Oh yeah, can you just repeat that real quick? It's about niches.
He said, do you have a niche strategy diagram? If no, what would you charge to create one?
Got it. So I'm just trying to clarify the exact ask there. It's like some type of visualization of how we would overlap interests and behaviors and demographics. Like,
I think he's
process for building audiences.
I think he's asking like if you like maybe had like a template for like a specific niche, like what would work. Like for instance, if you were to do one for like SEO and just like have that already built out. I think that's what he's saying. Yeah,
if that's what you're saying, then that's actually a great. I never thought about doing this. I have so much data because like either have run traffic for or are just on as like an advisor, like an insane amount of ad accounts, like tens of millions of dollars a month and spend across all these ad accounts. I don't personally manage all of it, but I see it. And
yeah, just to interrupt you really quick, he is saying about SEO or local SEO. That's what he was saying.
So that's a great idea. And if I do create that, well, I'm definitely going to create that now. When I do, I'll be sure to share that so you can give that to everyone in the group.
Okay,
that's a great idea.
That's sort of what I try to do for like my SEO stuff. I try to templatize it so that people can just, I mean, and they sell really well. And then I just offer it in my masterminds. And I'm sure, dude, you could definitely hit down on that pretty hard. And that would make, I mean, even I would definitely buy that.
That's a great idea. This was the first kind of tool that I publicly put out, the ROAS calculator. And it's done real. I mean, I just gave it for free, but it's like hundreds of people have already downloaded and started using it, which is kind of cool.
Okay, maybe we'll have one last question.
Sure.
Andrew says, a little late on this, do either of you have a process for demoing or demonstrating services via pitch deck or live demos for warm leads? New to offering inbound services, pivoted from web design to inbound, and now we're getting lots of leads, but we haven't mastered our closing pitch. Thanks.
Sure. So we don't really do a demo per se, but we do that that account audit that I told you about, where we get access to their ad account, we get access to all their assets, and then we spend an hour just basically like not ripping the business apart because we don't want them to feel bad, but basically telling them all the things that if they put in place, they would be making a lot more money. And so we start from the very, very basics of little things like, hey, there's no naming conventions in here. All the names are all over the place. It's a nightmare just here's this post-purchase retargeting strategy they put in place. You could probably increase your lifetime value by 30% almost overnight. And we find that like that hour audit is kind of the sweet spot, and we don't charge for it. Although I think like you're talking about charging, and I think if you're doing it higher up in the funnel, that's a great qualifier. I think that's great. Either whether you're doing higher in the funnel but charging, or later in the funnel and doing it free, but it's more qualified. But I think an hour audit, super intense, really, really like pulling out the curtains, not holding back, giving away all the great strategies, because you need to realize there's a difference between telling people what they should be doing and actually them doing it. Implementation is where people really like Like, I know I need to do this. I know these are things I should do. I just have no idea where to start, and I don't want to do it. That's where you want people at. You want people like knowing they need to do it, but like totally at a loss for how to do it. That's a great spot for people to be in terms of selling services.
It seems like your selling strategy too is all value up front, like value, 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 until it's literally just like them begging you to be a client in a sense, right? You're just giving as much away as you can up front. And then when it actually comes to like them actually buying something, they're actually buying a high ticket item versus like perhaps maybe somebody who wants to do a little bit less value maybe and then sell like lower ticket items. Would that be the opposite, or would you not recommend
Correct.
that?
Yeah. And I'm a unique circumstance because like Unicorn Innovations is a holding company. We own a lot of stuff. And so we have e-commerce stores. We have our courses. We have consulting. We actually invest in and buy stores and startups. So like we have lots of income streams. So like our consulting and things like that, we don't need to do that to make money. And because of that, we don't have to be pushy. We don't have to, like, we don't sell like we're not desperate for it because we don't need it. Like if we don't get this client, it's not going to impact us like personally or even business wise. And I think that gives us a huge advantage because the right businesses can kind of sense that like you don't really need our business, and that makes it a little more attractive. But yeah, for lower price products, I think you don't need to nearly do as much as what we talked about today. I think the bar of credibility and trust lowers based on the price point. You're asking somebody for $20, you don't need to establish as much trust credibility as you do if you're selling, $2,000, $10,000, $15,000, right? It's a higher risk, and they're going to have more reservations and objections to giving somebody they don't know that much money.
Cool, man. Well,
was there any other? I'm more than happy. I know if there's any other questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. I have fun doing this stuff. So
right on. Anybody else want to ask some questions? Let's just go through here before. And what we might do at some point too, if you're interested, is in the Facebook group, we could do an AMA. I just did one today for someone, and they got a lot of questions. The problem is that a lot of people aren't necessarily on at this moment, so most of the views will come in later. But I think
I can come back. I mean, if you want to drop a bunch of questions, and we can do something next week or the week after.
What I'd really like to do is actually maybe see you do some sort of Facebook audit in a sense. And I think that would do really, really well, because that's what I do on my channel, and people will love to be able to see like the audit type material. Especially, I mean, what would be really cool is if you could maybe do it for like a quick one for, I don't know if this is asking a lot, but for my company, because then at least people could see, since they're all other SEOs, they could actually see how an SEO based audit would look, or whatever.
Let's do it. I literally do that every week in Unicorn IQ Academy. Like that's all I do. I do on Monday. It's half training and half like audits and Q&A. So I audit ads every week.
Can we talk really quickly about what you sort of do in more detail within the mastermind? Because I'm not just interested for like people to, join it because they would probably want to, but also because I have my own mastermind, and I'm just curious on like how you're running yours. Or did it lag out?
Sure. So we got rid of our group coaching. I used to have a group coaching program, but it was too much additional work, and it was, good money. Like it was $24,000 a year, but, so I don't do something on like a regular, like monthly program, but we do like events, like weekend masterminds. And so like me and Tim are doing one November 10th through 13th in Los Angeles for like 25 people. And that's just like advanced stuff. So that's super deep. Like we're going to cover everything from crazy audience research, testing tactics, spying tactics, manual bidding, scaling strategies, like more advanced stuff. It's not going to be, this is how you set up an account. This is how you create a retargeting ad. Those are usually like 2 full days, 6 hours each. Tim does the first day, I do the second day, but we're both there both days. Like while one's teaching, one of us is kind of working with people personally. And it's very hands-on. We're working in accounts like with live data, and implementing stuff for the people that attend, so they can walk away with like actual stuff in their account live, producing results. So that's really what we do on the mastermind side of things. And then we're doing the same thing kind of in Phuket after Affiliate World Asia. It's kind of like a hang where it's going to be like 3 days in Phuket. We rented out like 2 like giant villas on the beach, and it's going to be kind of like a fun mastermind where we do a lot of cool knowledge share and push share, but also having fun and relaxing. So those are kind of the 2 types of masterminds that I like to do. I don't do like the monthly kind of like annual mastermind thing anymore.
Gotcha. So you don't do like the Facebook type thing where people come in and then watch like videos, that kind of stuff, or?
Well, that's our Unicorn IQ Academy. So
Gotcha.
Our academy is a monthly membership. It's $297 a month or $1997 for the full year. And that's basically, we put everything in that. So it's all of our courses, plus if you're a member, you get any new courses we add, just added. We do like guest content and experts every month. So my buddy Seth Green, who's like one of the top messenger guys in the world, is providing like a really badass messenger mini course plus his software. And then we do daily live trainings, which is really where the insane value is, because it's basically you get 5 90-minute trainings every week from real men, like experts who are actually doing this daily. They're not like career teachers or like that. They do this. Most people don't know who they are. Like I know who they are because I work with them at a high level, brought them into this, and they just share like what's working for them. Plus they'll audit your campaigns depending on the product. Like for LinkedIn, they'll like Anna will go through your entire LinkedIn profile and make sure it's like the best, highest converting LinkedIn profile out there, how to use LinkedIn groups, like things that nobody's really talking about LinkedIn. Same thing with Instagram, same thing with AdWords and search, same thing with Facebook, and same things with SEO. So that's the kind of Unicorn Academy right now. And we're just going to keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. But it's, we made it so it's like $297 a month is like, it's such an absurd price for how much value you get, that it's just like a no-brainer for anybody that's serious about growing their business. Like they need to be part of this because you get 1 tip a month. It pretty much pays for the year. And that just, you probably get multiple tips per session each week.
That's sick. And your value ladder for that, do they end up like getting individual coaching at some point, maybe the 3rd level down, or?
We're working on it right now. We're still heavily focused on the rebrand and just like really fine tuning the whole experience for existing members to make it as perfect and streamlined as possible. And then we're going to really scale that and then start working on the kind of super high ticket on the back end.
Okay. Okay. Last question, and then we'll close it out. So you got all this stuff going on, and how do you not get lost in all of it?
I used to, and I used to get overwhelmed. Our focus, Jeremy and myself, really the last six to 9 months has been being abundant and like giving. I wouldn't say giving away, but I think where a lot of people mess up entrepreneur wise is they want to make all the money and keep all the equity. And that means they have to do all the work. And you end up just getting overworked. You just get burnt out and you end up hating your life because you just don't get to enjoy any of the stuff you're making. So we just started kind of switching the mindset, saying like, we know all the best people and let's just start getting involved, abundant with whether it's profit shares, whether it's options in the companies, whatever it might be, or just retainers. Like bring them in, have them do a bulk of the work so we can focus a lot of our time on forming new deals and being involved at the strategy level. So I'm not involved like in the nitty gritty day to day on a lot of our stuff. I have, buyers that run a lot of our Facebook campaigns where I work with them every week on strategy, new ideas, kind of troubleshooting any challenges for our consulting side. I still run like 2 or 3 our really big accounts, but that's on our consulting side. So that's kind of really automated, and we have a team that's running that. The IQ side of the business, like I said before, we basically sold a piece. We brought in a big partner that has a 42-person agency, and they're able to do all the stuff. So we have 2 calls a week. We are team able to, ideas we want to implement, challenges we want to overcome, and their team executes that, and we interact in Slack on that. The same thing with our investing side of the business. We have our capital partners that they provide the funding. We kind of look at the deals and look at whether they have a really solid marketing plan, business model, and we're involved, but more in an advisory capacity there. So it all comes down to delegating and bringing on the right people and being abundant with the compensation, because you're going to end up making a lot more money if you can scale your time and take on a lot more opportunities than you would if you try to do everything yourself and be very scarce minded with your equity of your business and the kind of profit share and all that.
And also about figuring out how to strategically like leverage your brand so that other people can sort of utilize that to help make you money and make themselves money in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, totally.
Right on, man. Well, if you have a free sort of content channel as well, if people aren't ready to sort of opt in perhaps to any of the stuff we were talking about, do you usually post a lot on your Facebook page, or where would they find out more about that stuff?
Sure. So Unicorn IQ Hub is our free Facebook group that you guys can go to. And I think it's like 9,000 people in there. And we post a lot of stuff in there. We do a lot of interviews, just a lot of good content in there. So if you want to go join that. And then I'm starting to do more on YouTube. It's still like I haven't had nearly enough time to go into it. I'm a fraction of the subscribers you have, but I'm going to start getting more involved on YouTube and some other social channels. If you want to search for me on YouTube, it's just Maxwell Finn.
Okay, sweet. All right, I'm going to put that stuff in the chat so people can join it. And sweet, man. Well, thanks for coming on. I'm going to shut down the broadcast and we'll just close it out in the back of the room. So thank you guys for joining. And until we see y'all next time, happy marketing.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.